Alrighty, what is up, everybody? I am Rob, and you are watching Outside in the 515. Today, we are going to talk about chainsaws and my chainsaw evolution, if you will, where I started 20 years ago when I bought my first saw to my latest new ones that I bought, and then at the end, I picked up a steel of a steel. Uh, Sorry, corny dad joke. But we'll get to that later. So here we go. Okay. So this was my first saw I ever bought. I think everybody and their brother has bought a Poland Wild thing. It's got an 18-inch bar. I bought this thing over 20 years ago. Um, Bought this when my dad was building his lake house. The camera's going to get a little shaky here. Set the tripod up. My dad was building his lake house, and there was lots of red oak trees everywhere. And Dad had a chainsaw, and I didn't. But I didn't have the money at the time to go buy a Husky or a Steel or a Echo. So I bought this at, I think, Menards for $120. And I tell you what, it cut everything I threw in front of it. Not fast, but it cut it. And this thing still runs. It still turns over. Dad just used it not too long ago, and he said it ran fine. So we actually have three of them. I bought this one, and then Dad bought one at Walmart, was selling it or something, and Dad bought it at Walmart. And then we had another guy give us one. So we got three of these Poland Wild things. And for the everyday, the everyday homeowner that just wants something to clean up some limbs and trim a tree and this and that, this thing is do perfectly fine. You don't need to go spending big money on saws if that's all you're going to be doing. So my next one was the Husky 440. I bought this one at, I think, Lowe's. They had a sale going on. My wife asked me if there was something that I wanted to buy, and I said I'd like to buy a nice chainsaw. And my dad always swore by Husqvarna's, and so they had this one on sale, and I bought it. Now, it's a 40cc saw, so it is underpowered. It does have an 18-inch bar on it. So, it does seem to have a little more power than the Poland does. So it's good for, I cut some white oak with it here, 4 or 5 months ago, and it handled the white oak just fine. Nothing was bigger than like 6 to 8 inches, and it had been down for a couple years. So it handled everything just fine. And then I decided I needed something a little bit bigger. I wanted something that would take a 25-inch bar, and I had my heart set on the 500i. What? No, I take that back. I went to actually buy a Husky 572. And in my area, the two small engine shops around are having issues with Husqvarna. They can't get saws in. They can't get parts in. Husqvarna is making serious demands on them that they don't like. So a lot of at least these two stores around, the one only sells Echo, and the other one primarily sells Steel. And so I walked into P&P Small Engines here in the 515 of Iowa, and I bought the 400C. And I tell you what, I have been thoroughly impressed with this thing. It I noodled down some big mulberry with it, and it just ate this saw. And this is an M-tronic saw, and I know there's a lot of M-tronic and what does Husqvarna call it, auto tune haters. But until you've ran one, the M-tronic is great. You'll hear it adjust itself, and this thing, 2-3 pulls, it starts every time. I absolutely love it. And like I said, it's got the 25-inch bar on it, and this thing has been a great saw. And I went in to buy the 500i, and they didn't have one. And the guy said, I can order you one, but he said, what are you going to be doing with it? I said, primarily firewood. Most of us are, going to be on the ground and this and that. And he says, well, this one will do everything the 500i will, just not as fast. And I tell you, I'm glad I bought this one. Now, that being said, I would have bought the 500i if they would have had one. I've heard almost nothing but good things about the 500i. So, but this is the 400C, and this is fairly new. I probably got 15 or so tanks through it, and it seems to do well. So now my next one, then I decided that I wanted something in between, and I went back down to P&P Small Engines, and I was looking at I think it was the 271 or 291, one of those two. And the guy, again, sold me on this, and he says, I have a lot of tree service guys that are using this because it's lightweight, but it's still plenty powerful. And he says, this MS250's been around for a long time. And I know that to be true because my brother has one that he bought, 20 or so years ago, and his still runs perfectly fine. So this one is an old school. You can adjust the carburetor on it and all that, and it's got an 18-inch bar. So, and I tell you what, I've used this one to drop a couple trees in my backyard, and so far it's been great. So I'm pretty pleased. So that is my evolution of saws, starting with that Poland, going down to the 400C. I think next year I am gonna, let's give Steel a little screen time. I think next year I am gonna step up to the 500i, just because. I obviously don't need it, but just because, I work hard and I like to treat myself. And right now I've been treating myself anyway with either firearms or chainsaws. So, and both are fun to have and very useful to have. So now we're going to get to the part where I told you that I got a steal of a steal. I found this one on Facebook Marketplace, and the guy was selling it for his grandpa, and finally got in touch with grandpa and all that good stuff, and he told me to come out and take a look at it. I come out and take a look at it, and needs a little bit of carb work. Probably needs a good tune-up. But I was pretty impressed with what it was and what he was asking. So I'll get you flipped around here and we'll show you the deal. Hang tight. Alrighty. So this is a Stihl MS270. Got an 18-inch bar. Came with the case. And like I said, I found this off of Facebook Marketplace. Now, the old boy I bought this MS270 off of was 90 years old. And he was very adamant that if I wasn't happy, he would give me my money back. Because he knows that it's a lot of money right now. Now, when I tell you what I paid for it, you'll laugh. But to this gentleman, it was a lot of money. He bought it brand new. He didn't say how old it was. He couldn't remember. But he bought it brand new. To me, it probably looks, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. Looks like it's been used. But it starts. It's got good compression. And he was asking $100 for it. And I had to drive a little bit to get it. I had to drive to a town, 45 minutes away. So I got off work, stopped and grabbed cash, started heading towards his way. And the whole way, I didn't know how old the guy was. I knew it was a grandpa, but I figured he was maybe my dad's age, so mid-70s, early 80s. And I wouldn't have guessed that he was 90 years old when he came out. This guy had a, what's the term, hitch in his giddy up. So he comes out, shows me the saw, starts the saw, and it starts a little hard, and it doesn't want to stay running. You have to keep giving it gas. So like I said, it's a good learning tool for me because I've never tuned a saw. My dad was a small engine mechanic for years and years, along with being an automotive mechanic. So he's gonna step me through it, and we'll get that on tape too. Because like I said, I'm gonna tune it up. I'm gonna put a plug and an air filter and fuel filter and probably a new fuel line, and we're gonna put a new bar on it and get a few new chains. But for the saw, the case, it's got a brand new chain on it and another chain. I paid $100. And the whole way up there, I was thinking, I can get it bought for 80. I can get it bought for 80. And then when I get up there, and the old boy is 90 years old, and talked my ear off, and it was great to talk. I love talking to people from that generation, mainly because I lost my grandpa I lost all my grandpas before I was 12 years old, and I'm in my mid-40s now. So it was a long time ago. So anytime I get to talk to somebody from that generation, I take the time, I listen, I don't speak much, because you can learn so much from that generation. They've been through so much that generation is, they call it the greatest generation for a reason. But he was very, very adamant that if I was not happy, my $100 would be waiting for me. And I kept trying to reassure him that, no, sir, I'm going to be happy with this. I have no doubt that it's a good saw. So, but he, like I said, he was very, very adamant that my $100 would be waiting for me. So, in the next couple days, I'll get the parts and we'll do a video of tuning it up and me learning how to tune it. So I'm kind of excited for that. So now I'm pretty set on saws as far as sizes go. I've got the, lots of traffic today. I don't use that Poland. I haven't used that Poland in years. So my dad likes it for whatever reason. Maybe because it's nice and light for him. So I've got the 40cc with the Husky. I've got the 45cc with the MS250. Now I got the 50cc with the MS270. And what's the 400C? 67? So I would like to step up. I would like to buy a 500i just because 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 I work hard and I deserve it. We all deserve a toy every now and then, right? So, gonna end this on a bit of a somber note, though. We got word yesterday that a coworker and a fellow union brother died in his sleep, and this was very unexpected. We knew he had some health problems, but he was very private about it, so we didn't know the extent of it. So when we got news that he passed, it was very just a gut shot. When you lose somebody that you worked with for 15 years, you really get to know somebody, and it was a gut shot. So to the Dean family, I give you all my thoughts and prayers. I know you're going through a lot, so we had a nickname for him at work. So Caveman, gonna do one for you, buddy. So Caveman will. I hate goodbyes. It's just see you later. We know you're in a better spot, and we know you're not hurting. So to the Dean family, my heart goes out to you. You're in my thoughts and prayers. So that being said, hug a loved one, hug a friend, check in on a friend, because we can all make the world better. We can all take care of each other. And I think that's about it for the day. So we'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit all the ringy dingies at the bottom. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Outside in the 515. We'll catch you on the next one.